time.
Is this decision in relation to carbon fibre research, which Dr. Marshall has explained as fairly sort of unique to carbon fibre? Does that are there any sort of further effects or similar trends in relation to jobs that are related to manufacturing in CSIRO? What are the trends that are related to jobs in manufacturing in CSIRO going forward?
Oh, Senator, we've focused on agile manufacturing as a growth opportunity. One of the things we learned during COVID is that using science and technology, we could take a company that was manufacturing one type of product in a industry not related to medical, and using our science and technology help them transition to produce PPE, medical safety equipment for physicians, or even surgical masks. And a realization through doing that work in the crisis was, what if we could enable a factory to rapidly transition, be agile with its products, to enable it to be more nimble, more competitive in the market. And so that's a big part of our manufacturing strategy. It's also a big part of the modern manufacturing strategy launched by the government. In terms of other things like carbon fibre, we tried the same thing with graphene and got a bit more success there. We were able to come up with a very unique recipe for graphene, and that is lower cost than global competition. And it's enabled us to create some really unique products. One of them is a water filter, which is far better than most water filters in the world today. So I don't want to give the impression we're not getting out of materials. In fact, materials is a great strength of Australia. But the trouble is, we just had to be a bit more rigorous about how we evaluate the materials, to be realistic about where we could be globally competitive and where we would be kind of a follower, not a leader. And so we're focusing on areas where Australia can lead, because that will drive greater profitability in Australian industry.
Okay. And are there any other sort of areas like carbon fibre in that rigorous approach that you're taking to sort of realign that area with the opportunities that are out there? Are there any other areas that I guess you might describe as at risk in CSIRO manufacturing?
There may be, Senator. We defined roughly 100 new roles to support these growth areas. And we're going through a process now to determine how many people can transition to fulfill those roles and how many we have to bring in from outside. And again, like all organisations, we have a finite budget. So if we can't transition everyone into those roles, we'll need to hire new people, and that means that other areas will have to be reduced in order to maintain the budget. But we're going through that process now, Senator.
Right. Okay. In relation to, I feel that there are more questions that I could ask there, but I assume that you're in a process that will involve discussions with staff, and that it may not be appropriate to get ahead of some of those discussions in this forum.
Thank you for your understanding there, Senator.